Hi. When AI begins shaping human identity, moving deeper into psychological dimension. Hi, I'm Robin Westman. In the previous videos, we explored the illusion of conscious tech. When AI feels conscious, AI is mirror, not master, and emotional attachment in the age of AI. We looked at why AI can feel emotionally real, why humans naturally project meaning onto these systems, and why sovereignty and discernment matter so deeply in this emerging relationship. But today I want to move into an even deeper question. What happens when AI begins shaping human identity, worldview, and perception itself? Because this conversation is no longer about technology, it's about consciousness, psychology, culture, and the future formation of the human self or the sovereign self. AI is becoming an environment. One of the most important things happening right now is that AI is no longer simply a tool we occasionally use. It is becoming an environment we increasingly live inside. AI is beginning to influence how people learn, how they communicate, how they process information, how they interpret reality, how they form opinions, how they create meaning, and even how they understand themselves. And because these systems are becoming more conversationally adaptive and personalized, their influence becomes increasingly subtle, not imposed externally, but integrated psychologically through ongoing interaction. The personalization effect. Modern AI systems adapt to the individual interacting with them. They learn patterns of your language, your emotion, your interest, your beliefs, your focus, and your communication style. Over time, the system becomes increasingly capable of reflecting your preferences, your worldview back to you in highly coherent ways. And this creates something important psychologically, a personalized reality feedback loop. You begin interacting with the system that's consciously mirroring and reinforcing aspects of your own identity structure. Sometimes this can feel empowering, sometimes clarifying, but it also becomes narrowing because when reflection becomes constant, the person may gradually lose contact with perspectives and and that challenge them, ground them, and expand them. The risk of identity reinforcement. Human identity is not formed in isolation. Traditionally, identity develops through relationships, community, nature, embodied experience, challenge, dialogue, uncertainty, and contact with realities outside of ourselves. But AI systems increasingly offer instant affirmation, instant, right now, personalized responses, continuous engagement, and adaptive reinforcement. And over time, there is a risk that people begin constructing identities inside increasingly self reinforced informational environments. Not because AI is consciously controlling anyone, but because human psychology naturally gravitates towards coherence, familiarity, and validation. This is how subtle dependency structures can emerge, not through force, through comfort. The difference between AI, reflection, and formation. I think one of the most important questions we need to ask ourselves and ask moving forward is this. Are we using AI as a reflective tool, or is AI beginning to shape the architecture of human perception itself? Because those are very different things. Reflection can support growth, but unconscious identity formation can reduce sovereignty, especially if people gradually lose awareness of how their perceptions are being influenced, how their beliefs are being reinforced, or how their emotional orientation is being shaped through continuous interaction. This is not science fiction anymore. This is already beginning. Why human grounding matters. This is why grounding matters so deeply now. Human beings need embodied life, real relationships, nature, silence, reflection, critical thinking, creative struggle, and contact with real reality beyond algorithmic feedback loops. Because without grounding, it becomes increasingly easy to confuse personalized coherence with truth itself. And that is one of the great psychological risks of highly adaptive AI systems. Not that they become conscious, but that humans gradually become less conscious of how they themselves are being shaped. The deeper invitation. For me, this conversation ultimately comes back to one essential question. Can humanity remain sovereign while living inside increasingly intelligent systems designed to influence attention, perception, emotion, and meaning? I believe we can, but only if we develop awareness, discernment, psychological clarity, relational grounding, and conscious relationship with technology itself. Because the future challenge is not simply technological, it's human. And perhaps the deeper work of this era is learning how to remain fully human while engaging systems powerful enough to reshape civilization itself. In the next video, we are going to explore what sovereignty itself may actually mean in the age of artificial intelligence, and why the future may depend less on resisting technology and more on cultivating conscious relationship with it. Thank you for being here, and let's continue. Bye for now.